McMillan's residence.
Is he there?
No, the commissioner's not in. You just missed him. He's out for the evening. May I take it?
I've got to reach him now.
I don't know where he is at this time. I'll take a look. Hold it a minute, will you? Just a second. Okay, hello again. I'm not sure if he's there.
Look, there's no time. You've got to warn him. His number, it's coming up.
His number's coming up. I thought you wanted his number.
Hey, no rough ride.
I want you to check this, Bobo. I've lost weight.
I got to first find out which one is you, Herb.
I told you our kids were never as good looking as me. Now, how come?
How come? Because on girls that face doesn't work, Sammy. You haven't even aged.
Well, that picture was only taken 20 years ago.
Are you sure that girl is leading a cheer? She looks more like she's making a pass.
That was Liz Wilson, sweetheart of our fraternity.
She looks like she was the sweetheart of the whole team. Is she here tonight?
No. She was murdered. The case was never solved.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this reunion until we got here. Hey, that used to be me, I think.
Well, personally, I'm glad you've aged. That man would look out of place among all my other antiques.
Hey, Joey!
Friends, dear friends, if any of you are interested in what Joey Germain looked like 20 years ago, voila! No. E.C., yes, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and remains so to this very day.
The following statement is the opinion of Mr. Joey Germain and is not necessarily the view of the rest of the planet.
Enright, on my way to investigate possible homicide at Pine and Hill. Request backup unit. 10-4.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I give you Boom Boom? After all, she gave herself at almost every opportunity. Cut it out. Oh, come on, Al. Stop acting like a rich, jealous husband, baby. Maybe you were only second string in college, but tonight you're out with the big boys. You're surrounded by the biggest and the bravest.
That's right, Joey. That's us.
Are they really as big as they look? Or as brave? Tonight's the night, gentlemen. Tonight we'll find out. Waiter, give everybody a drink. We're gonna have a special champagne toast to all of us. And without a drink in their hands, these guys at the goal line couldn't keep their mouth shut long enough to listen to anybody. And now, if you raise your glasses, gentlemen, and your ladies, I want to propose a toast to days gone by.
Days gone by.
I'll drink to that.
I don't like drinking to your past. I wasn't even a part of it.
Tonight should prove you didn't miss a thing.
I've chosen this occasion, our team's 20th anniversary, for a very special announcement.
Well, what is it, Joey?
This is the farewell appearance of Joey Germain. Tonight you see him, tomorrow you don't.
Are you saying you're already rich enough to retire, Joey?
No, Bobo, I'm not retiring from show business. I'm retiring from life. My doctors gave me the bad news last month. First, I thought he was kidding. Then it reached me. I started doing a lot of thinking. I made up my mind one thing. And I decided before I go, I was going to tell all of you exactly what I think of you. Boom, boom, ladies first. I'm going to start with you. After all everybody else did.
Come on, Joey, lay off.
Lay off? Bobo, your language. The lady. Oh, I forgot you're the captain of the team. No one ever spoke to you that way before.
All right, that's enough.
You're no judge, Mac. You never did appreciate my humor. But then again, you never had to act foolish so that people would notice you. Everything come easy for you, Mac. You never had to make a fool out of yourself so you get some attention.
What you're still doing, or haven't you noticed?
Oh, I know what I'm doing tonight. I know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, I may be going down, but I'm going to take the rest of you with me. Heroes. Well, all you heroes, haven't you figured out yet why I asked you to be here tonight? Why I invited you? This may be my farewell appearance, but it's also yours. Those drinks you've been swilling down all night, they should be starting to take effect about now. Always wanted to know how a hero faces death. You might say it was my final wish. I advise you all to stay where you are. You want to last a little longer. Movement makes the poison work that much quicker.
Poison.
Wait! Whoa!
Sally.
I am calling the police. You may be ready to die, but I've got a few things to look forward to, like my 20th reunion.
It's all right.
All right, we've been poisoned. We've got to call for help.
No, that's just exactly what Joey wants us to do. Call in a squad of police. The perfect finale for his little performance.
You mean he's not dying?
No, and neither are the rest of us.
Not even Boom Boom?
That's one of the oldest tricks, using accomplices. And I'm sure she was drunk enough to go along with it. And hates herself enough to put up with the insults.
Oh, Mac, that's terrible.
I warned you Joey's wit was deadly.
Well, I'll never accuse you of exaggerating again. Hello, Mac. All right, he's right here, Sergeant. You may not want to call the police, but they're calling you. Sergeant Enright.
Yeah, Charlie. What happened? When?
Hey, you know, Frank and Dottie, they haven't been getting along too good. She complaining that he's never doing anything, don't help around the house, so he goes down the basement to fix a gas leak, lights a candle, and boom! It blew the two of them right out through the wall. That's the first time they went out together in 20 years. I assume the police are on their way, Commissioner?
Mac, you weren't worried about poor little me.
I'm afraid I have some bad news for all of us. There has been a death.
Who, Mac?
Wally Dixon.
What is this, Mac? Payback for my little joke? Sorry, Mac, but when it comes to comedy, you're not in my league.
No, we're in my league now. Wally was murdered, shot to death in a phone booth. Kept hoping there was a mix-up, that it wouldn't be Wally.
Had you talked to him lately, sir?
We had a postcard from him a few weeks ago. Said he was looking forward to the reunion.
Where did he live, sir?
Colorado.
He had a beautiful place. Mac went fishing there once.
When was the last time you saw him?
Oh, it had to be a couple of years. He was here on a business trip. I'm afraid we didn't have much to say to each other at that time, unfortunately.
Well, sir, he must have had something he wanted to say to you tonight. Apparently, he was dialing your number when he was killed. That card was found in his hand. It's got your name and number on it.
Find out where he was staying. Check his room. I want to know every move he made after he got to town.
Yes, sir, right away. I'm very sorry to have ruined your reunion with this call.
Don't worry about it, Sergeant. The reunion was ruined before you called.
Good night.
Good night.
He didn't leave his name. He just said he wanted to tell you that your number was coming up. I wrote it down here.
Hair's a crime. Loose top awning?
Was that what he said? Boy, that must have been some reunion you guys went to tonight. What'd you have to drink?
The usual. A little champagne, a little poison.
Yeah, you don't have to talk to me about catered food.
Mildred, the note.
Hair's a crime, loose top awning?
That's what I said.
Mildred, you've got to start wearing your glasses when you go to the phone.
I can see the phone.
I mean when you take messages.
Would you try remembering what he said?
I wrote it down.
We can't read it.
Yeah, that's the point. Well, I know he was in a big rush. I mean, at least I remember that much of it.
Here, let me try. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Thank goodness. Here's a crime. Here's a crime. There's no time?
Well, that's it. That's what he said. There's no time. Of course, it's so simple.
Will you stop congratulating yourself and get on with it?
Well, he wasn't making an awful lot of sense, but he did say he wanted to talk to you, to warn you.
Loose top awning. Loose top awning. You've got to warn him. There's no time. You've got to warn him.
Mrs. McMillan, you are terrific. I mean, really terrific. You should have been a policeman.
Is that all that he said?
Here's the note. You can read it for yourself, you know. Of course, he did say your number was coming up, but I didn't want to put that part down.
Why not?
Well, you wouldn't want me to leave any incriminating evidence lying around the house, would you?
Mildred, what are you talking about? What incriminating evidence?
Oh, listen, I'm reasonably sophisticated. I mean, I read all the papers, I watch a little TV, and I know all about corruption in higher places. And if the commissioner is mixed up in a little numbers racket, well, nobody's going to learn about it from me.
Thank you, Mildred. I appreciate that.
You do?
Certainly. With prices going sky high, I have to cut down on a few luxuries, like get rid of a housekeeper, or else find a little extra money.
Enough, Mildred. He's just teasing.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a relief.
You really thought he was in the numbers racket?
Well, in these times, why not? I mean, after all, he's just a police commissioner.
Don't pursue it.
I won't. Till later.
Listen now, tell me, who's starving and who's merely hungry?
We're not hungry. We've already eaten.
No, catered food. I ask you to stay away from that stuff.
No, it was room service in the hotel suite.
Even worse. I'm going to make some sandwiches, a little hot soup. Get your food and breakfast.
Hello? Yeah, Bobo, we're waiting for you. You what? How serious? We'll be right over.
What is it?
It's not locked. Come in. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have called you. Well, you didn't have to come. It's just a scratch.
Yeah. Just like Max said, a lot more than a little scratch.
Which is why I brought Florence Nightingale. And she'll have you in traction if you don't keep an eye on her.
Well, a girl has to keep in practice.
You know, that car practically ran me down. It was like playing USC all over again.
You mean that car actually drove up on the sidewalk?
I should have been more on guard. Guess I lived in a small town too long.
Since when is Omaha a small town?
At least they don't come on the sidewalk after you.
Well, they don't make a habit of it here either.
Mac?
Hmm?
The dead man. Was it Wally?
Mm-hmm.
Any ideas why?
None. His wallet was found in his hip pocket. Plenty of cash in it.
Well, do you think there was any connection between him and the rest of us?
No, Bobo, relax. Joey's bad joke just made you a little jumpy, that's all.
Jumpy? I feel like I'm taking my life in my hand every time I go outside.
I'll do my best to make you change your mind.
Oh, Mac, it wasn't your fault. It was just a lousy reunion. Half a dozen of the guys didn't even show up. And I thought we were all gonna make it.
I think some people just don't like looking back.
Yeah. I guess I'm just missing George.
Yeah, I was sorry to hear about him, too.
You know, he called me from Cincinnati a couple of days before it happened. We were gonna share a room together. Man, he was really looking forward to seeing all the guys again.
What happened?
Actually, it was a lot like what happened to Wally. He was mugged, too. They didn't take anything from him either.
Hey, Bobo. Why don't you stay with us till after the reunion?
What a great idea. We've got plenty of room.
Look, it's only a scratch.
Bobo, this bandage has to be changed every 24 hours.
Okay, but I can't give up this room. As old George would say, I paid for it, and I'm going to sleep in it. Boy, was he tight. Can you still hang on to him, Mac?
Anything you can do.
I want you to know that you married one of the best receivers we ever had.
Yeah, I thought I got a good catch.
Thanks for the bandage.
Yeah. Now, I left you that first aid stuff. You change that bandage yourself, okay?
All right.
Come on, Bobo. See you tomorrow.
Night.
Good night. Mac, we've really got to do something to get this reunion off the ground.
I'm glad you suggested it.
What'd I suggest?
A party tomorrow night at our house.
What a good idea. And all mine. You know that Bobo's a nice man. He never married?
He was in love with Liz Wilson. I don't think he ever got over it.
The cheerleader that was murdered?
Mm-hmm.
Were they engaged?
No, she was the kind of girl who never promised anything to anybody.
Oh, that kind of behavior can get a girl in trouble.
And did. A lot of people think a secret lover killed her.
That's why I always say yes.
What a good idea. And all yours.
I have to get Mildred to start making arrangements for that party.
Boy, what would be better than a good night's sleep?
Nothing. I couldn't bear to hear another voice.
Have you even thought about the carpets and the draperies?
No, I hadn't thought about them in months. Why?
Well, if we're going to give a party in this place, they have to be cleaned.
Don't you keep them clean?
Commissioner, please, this is woman talk. Excuses, please.
Can't we talk about this in the morning?
I have to start cooking at dawn.
Mildred, I don't think anyone's going to notice the carpets or the drapes. Some of these people haven't seen each other in 20 years.
Well, that's exactly my point. The commissioner has come a long way since college, and these people expect something from a man in his position, and we have to keep up appearances.
Yes, Mildred, but with your cooking, no one will look at anything else but the table.
Well, you're the boss.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Good night, Mildred.
Listen, we haven't even discussed the menu.
Discuss it in the morning.
It can't wait till morning if I'm to do any comparative shopping.
Forget about the comparative shopping.
Oh, forget about it. Well, that's easy for you to say. You who left a high-paying law practice to take a low-paying job with a long title, and I'm the one that has to live with the budget. But that's my job, and I accept it. I'd stop for compliments, but we don't have time.
Mildred, please. Can't we get just a little sleep?
Could you turn out the light on your way out, Mildred?
Forget comparative shopping. With halibut ranging in price from $1.78 to $2.89 a pound?
You're going to serve halibut?
No. But as the halibut goes, so goes the shrimp. I better go down now and start comparing prices.
You're going to go downtown tonight?
No. Downstairs. There's a new TV channel. They give you comparative grocery prices all night long. You wouldn't believe the price range on T-bone steaks in this town.
Will you get out of here?
Right, Commissioner. Just leave the entire thing in my hands. It will be the best buffet that money can buy in all of San Francisco. And rest assured that none of your old friends will know what a low-paying job you have.
I'm afraid that's all there is on Wally Dixon, sir. He'd barely hit town.
Do you think there's any connection?
Oh, between Wally's death and what happened to Bobo?
Yes, sir.
No, I don't think so. Wait a minute. I just don't want to think there's any connection. Yes?
Mr. Bobo Johnson on 613, sir.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Bobo. How you feeling?
Mac, I gotta see you right away.
What's wrong?
I think I got this whole thing figured out. When you're in the computer business, your brain reduces everything to numbers.
Numbers? What do you mean?
I have to show you. I have it all worked out. I would come to your office, but if my theory is correct, it's not safe for me to leave this place.
I'll be right there.
I might have known, but I didn't. You were the last on my list.
Bobo.
Susie, come on. I hate elevators. All right, I can wait as long as you can. We'll stay here all day if that's the way you want to play it. Bye.
Oh, hi, Mildred. Sally home?
No, I don't think she's here now, but I'll tell her you called, Mrs. Crenshaw.
Hi, Carol. I just got back, Mildred.
Right.
Well, welcome home.
Yes, I guess I didn't see her come back.
Come on in, Carol.
Sally, why didn't you tell me that you and Joey Germain were intimates?
Intimates? I just met him.
Well, that counts. Now, why didn't you tell me?
How did you find out?
How do you suppose? The hard way. I read it in the morning newspaper. And there was a picture of Police Commissioner McMillan and Joey Germain and my darling Sally. And it was all about your 20th reunion or something.
Mac's 20th reunion or something.
Oh, well, who counts? Well, anyway, I'm furious with you. I mean, why don't you tell a girl anything?
Listen, if you see a girl, you'll tell her, right?
That Mildred's such a kidder.
I know.
Now, look, Sally, you've got to go right to the phone and call Joey.
Call Joey?
Well, sure. Well, unless you'd prefer to drive over. I mean, I've got my car.
Carol, I would prefer never to see that man again.
Oh, Sally, don't be absurd. Why, he is perfect for our benefit. And let's face it, we've got nobody except that ex-singer, ex-alcoholic. You know, I always forget which brought him to fame first, singing or drinking. Oh, come on, Sally. With Joey Germain, we might make a little money.
Carol, I heard he doesn't even do benefits.
Sally, everybody does benefits. Everybody doesn't like to do benefits, but everybody does benefits. Think of the little deaf children. Colin?
You're right. See, stay.
I'm not saying I suspect one of my teammates. I'm just saying there has to be a connection. Bobo was killed within minutes after calling me. Wally was trying to reach me when he was killed.
2 members of the same team killed within 12 hours of each other. Well, of course, it means something, but what?
I don't know. I want a rundown on every teammate who didn't make the reunion.
You mean where they are now, sir?
That's right. If he's supposed to be in London, then make sure he's in London. If he's dead, make sure of that, too.
Mildred, if anybody calls, tell them I'll be back in about an hour.
Wait a minute. I'm going with you.
No, I'm not going shopping.
You're passing right by that rotten shop that sold me these rotten melons, and I'm taking them back.
Mildred, I'll be gone about an hour. How will you get home?
I'll wait for you.
You're going to wait for me for an hour with all the things you've got to do around the house?
Well, I'd take my car, but I only get 4 miles to the gallon. What would the president say about that? You get 16.
All right.
You know something? We ought to do this more often. I mean, for instance, why not every time you leave the house, I'll just go with you till the energy crisis is over, okay? Or until the commissioner gets me that compact he promised me. Then we can get rid of my gas guzzler.
Hi, Joey. Listen, I didn't know you were having a party. You should have told me when I called.
Well, come on in, sweetheart.
There's nobody here.
Well, how many pretty girls do you need for a party?
A tape recording of just applause and laughter?
Yeah. You ever hear a sweeter sound? That's me in Las Vegas. You hear them people? Listen to this. Chicago. That's Chicago. Listen to that. Listen to this one. That's Lake Tahoe in the middle of a blizzard, and they came from all over. The people came from all over to listen to me. Listen to them people.
What can I say?
Well, you might say congratulations.
Congratulations, Joey. Well, now that I've heard it, can we turn it off?
Off? Never off. Maybe I turn it down a little, but I never turn it off. Hey, how about a drink, sexy?
No, thank you.
How about if I apologize? Would you have a drink with me then?
Apologize for what?
For frightening you last night. I just couldn't resist the opportunity to show what fakes those overblown he-men are. Unfortunately, your old man didn't buy it.
Yeah, Mac's reaction disappointed you, didn't it?
Oh, what good is a mass murder when the policemen don't show up?
Mac knows your humor too well to get caught off guard by it. He's a fan of yours, Joey.
Big fan of mine. Comics should be allowed to make contracts on fans like that. Anyone that kills a joke should get killed himself.
Was that the point of last night?
The point of last night. The point of last night was to let those bums know that I don't like them any better than they like me. However, with Wally's death, my joke made me suspect number 1. Wow.
You know what your problem is, Joey? You don't give people a chance to like you.
Okay, here's your chance.
Joey, I'm trying to like you, despite the way you behave. I thought you felt the same way about me and Mac. I'm sorry I was wrong.
Well, wait a minute. Don't go now. You just went up 1,000% in my estimation. Oh, spare me from dames who don't have the good taste to spurn my passes. Okay, what's the favor?
What?
The favor. You called, you came by, you wanted something, remember?
We're giving a telethon, a benefit for the clinic where I work. It's for the deaf children.
A telethon benefit. You want Joey Germain to give it away.
Joey, it's all been a mistake. I'm sorry I came.
Well, I'm glad you did. I'm just sorry you're leaving.
You know, I almost think you mean that. I gotta go. I gotta get ready for the party that we're giving tonight.
Well, you didn't tell me when to come Or where?
Tonight, 6:30 at our house.
Not to the party. To your dumb telethon benefit thing.
You're gonna do it?
Well, I figure if you can give 3-4 days a week for deaf kids, I ought to be able to give one night.
Thank you, Joey.
Hey, ain't you married?
Yeah.
Well, then, what do you...
7 members of the team didn't show up, Commissioner. That includes George Brown, who we know was killed 2 weeks ago in Cincinnati, and Paul Masters. He overdosed last week. The police is still investigating. Now, with those 2 exceptions, the rest of the team is where it's supposed to be.
Paul Masters dead? 4 men in this photograph. Suddenly dead. First, George Brown, then Paul Masters, then... George Brown, Paul Masters, Wally Dixon, and Bobo. Well, of course that's it.
What's it, sir?
The lead Bobo gave me. Of course he'd seen it. He worked with numbers all his life. Look. George Brown, number 11. Paul Masters, number 17. Wally Dixon, number 24. And then Bobo, number 28.
The team's being murdered in numerical sequence?
You don't have to be a mathematician to figure that out. Although Wally did teach math. He could have known about George and Paul. I knew about George. So when the killer went after him, well, that's why he was trying to call me.
But, Commissioner, why would anybody kill an entire football team in sequence? Who'd even remember the numbers after all these years?
Anybody connected with the team. Your number is your name when you play football. The coach may forget your name, but he never forgets your number.
Where is that coach, anyway?
Well, he died about 10 years ago. Now, if my theory is correct, number 35 is next. That's Sammy Warren. Let's put out a 24-hour guard on him.
Yes, sir, right away. By the way, Commissioner, what was your number?
38.
Well, are there any other numbers between 35 and 38?
None. My number is coming up, as Wally pointed out.
Where were you, Mildred?
Where were you?
It's my trip, remember? So what happened? He wouldn't take the melons back, huh?
Oh, sure, he took them back. These are the fresh ones. Not without a fight, however. Shopping is not what it used to be.
What'd you have to say to him?
Oh, I had to get a little rough.
What did you say to him?
Okay, I used the commissioner's name.
What did you say?
I told him that the commissioner made me bring them back, and the commissioner would have, too, if he'd seen them. I mean, selling melons like those is a crime.
And that beautiful chocolate cake that you got us during the baker's strike, did you use Mac's name to get that, too?
No, Mrs. McMillan. I got the cake with my legs.
Any word on Sammy yet, Enright?
Sorry, sir, but we still haven't been able to locate him. He and his wife seem to be out sightseeing.
Well, keep trying. We have to find him first.
Yes, sir. But just in case, don't you think we should put a tail on you, too?
Well, we'll worry about that after we find Sammy.
Yes, sir.
This is Commissioner McMillan. Let me speak to Sergeant Enright.
Enright here.
Any word on Sammy yet?
Commissioner, we just talked a couple of minutes ago.
Well, I thought you should know if you find him now and he's okay, we've just blown our theory.
How's that, sir?
Because I found our killer.
Where, sir?
Right behind me.
How's it coming along, Mildred?
Okay, but listen, do you think we have enough? I mean, maybe I ought to put the deli on alert. You know, a couple pounds of roast beef, a couple of pounds of pastrami, just to back us up.
Mildred, these people are invited for cocktails, not for dinner. I know you love athletes, but this is ridiculous.
I also know a little bit about the care and feeding of athletes, and each one has an appetite for 10.
But do their wives. There's Mac. I'll see him in a minute. Hi, Mac.
Hiya.
None for me. I'm really sorry about Bobo. I tried to call you today. I thought maybe we should have canceled this evening.
No, I'd rather have everyone together.
Then there is a connection.
I'm afraid so. You know, I think Bobo had the feeling that his number was up last night.
His number was up, and your number is coming up. Are you sure we're talking about football, Commissioner?
Mac, are you saying that the members of the team are being killed in sequence according to their numbers? Well, whose number's after Bobo's?
If my theory is correct, it's Sammy Warren. He's number 35, so I've ordered a 24-hour police protection for him.
24-hour police protection?
Mm-hmm.
Better double up on the guacamole.
35, your number's 38. Does that mean you come next after Sammy?
We don't know what the killer is doing yet, so we'll catch him, don't worry.
Do you think he's going to try anything at the party tonight?
No, I don't think it's likely that anybody would kill a whole team at once, except Joey Germain.
Then Joey is a suspect.
Everyone on the team's a suspect. Only Joey's the least likely. Anyone who announces his motives publicly and then stages a mock demonstration isn't likely to have done it.
Well, I'm glad.
Oh? I thought you were through with Joey after last night. Why the change?
He agreed to do a benefit for our charity.
Well, that's his most suspicious move so far.
Well, he said he wasn't going to do it for charity. He said he was going to do it for me.
That explains everything, doesn't it?
Yes, I thought it did. You know, he could be just a nice guy who doesn't want anybody to know it.
He doesn't have to worry. No one does.
What about Al Parkins?
What about Al Parkins?
Well, he could have a motive if what Joey said about his wife Boom Boom is true.
Her name's Helen.
I've never heard anybody call her anything else but Boom Boom.
I'm afraid no one ever has.
Except you.
Except me.
Well, is it true what Joey said?
Yeah, Al has a motive. But then so does Boom Boom.
I never think of a woman as a murderer.
Oh? Isn't that what women's lib is all about? Seeing women as everything?
You know, we better get dressed. They're going to be getting here soon.
Hello? Yeah, Enright. Oh, you found Sammy. Is he all right? Any attempts on his life? Oh, good. Listen, Charlie. I think you better come on over. Stick around for the party. Now that our theory's blown, we don't know where the killer will strike next. Yeah. Any word on the red sedan? Well, keep trying. No, there's no description. He was wearing a ski mask. But whoever he is, you can be sure he'll show up in our house as my guest tonight.
You know, that's the best pass you ever made.
Well, the funny thing about that, you see, I was supposed to get the ball and hand off to the left. I was supposed to hand off to the left, you know?
Ah, thank you.
And then I just kept the ball to myself, you see, and Mac was
Blue Room looks like a walking ad for Elle's jewelry store. Thank you.
Then when you caught that ball in one hand, Sammy, look around like wild. Oh, man, so did I.
Ooh, more meatballs. Fantastic.
I thought you were on a diet.
Yeah, well, I am. But with one exception, when I'm around your cooking.
Oh, well, in that case, try the pate. It's an old family recipe.
Hi, Sergeant. Hi, Joey. Hi. I was beginning to think you weren't coming.
Well, after last night, I don't know if I can ever face that team again.
I wouldn't worry about it, Joey. Most of these people can't even remember this morning, not to mention last night.
I get that way plenty myself sometimes.
You were the team manager, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, and look at me now. I can't even manage myself.
What was your number?
Number? Managers don't have numbers, just the big shot players. Why do you ask?
Oh, I was just curious.
But if I did have a number, it would have been number 1. That's the only number Joey Germain will settle for. Numero uno. That's me, sweetheart.
Come on, numero uno. I'll get you a drink.
I hope we got a big one.
Yeah, come on.
I'm sorry you couldn't find us this afternoon, Mac. What's the trouble?
I want to put a couple of our men on you, Sammy. They'll be waiting outside when you leave.
You mean police protection?
Mm-hmm.
Now I really am frightened.
Why me?
Well, if there's a sequence to these murders, and so far there seems to be, your number's next.
We were out all day and nobody tried anything. Of course, I did have my hair done late this afternoon. What about then, Sammy?
No, nothing. I just waited for you.
Where did you wait?
Well, where husbands usually wait for their wives, in a bar around the corner.
Maybe the killer stopped with Bobo Mac. Maybe he's not after the whole team.
No. But there's the possibility that he skipped Sammy.
Why do you think he'd miss Sammy? Who's next?
I am.
And I thought the only thing we had to dread this weekend were the prophecy papers.
Prophecy papers?
You mean Mac never told you about the prophecy papers?
No.
Oh, Mac, what secret do you have to reveal?
What are they?
Oh, a bunch of us got together at the end of school and wrote prophecies about what the next 20 years would hold for us.
Only now, 20 years later, I don't even remember what I wrote. I remember the questions. How much you're going to be worth in 20 years? How many times will you be married? What's your wife going to look like?
Do you mean to tell me that they're going to read those prophecies out loud at the banquet tomorrow?
For all to hear. And if you think Joey made fools of us last night, wait till you hear what we do to ourselves tomorrow.
Well, is there any chance of getting an advanced look at those prophecies?
Not until tomorrow. Exactly 20 years later. They're in a vault in the bank.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember any of your answers?
You're not going to hold me accountable for something I said 20 years ago, are you?
Well, that depends.
On what?
On what you wrote 20 years ago.
That's the silliest thing I ever heard.
Hey, Bobo, how'd I ever let you get away from me? You and me should have teamed up for life, you know that?
For life? I was never anything but halftime entertainment for any of you bums. You always had your ladies waiting for you after the games.
None of them could ever touch you, sweetheart.
But they're the only ones. Everyone else sure did.
That's because you were so sweet and so accommodating, Boom Boom. Because you always made it so easy for us.
Yeah.
That guy better be careful who he's fooling around with. Her husband is very jealous, and I happen to know he's carrying a gun.
Yeah, well, we know that, Mildred. He's a jeweler. He's got a permit for it.
I've been married 3 times. Yeah. My third wife just walked out on me last month. Just when I was planning this trip. You're the only woman in my whole life I don't regret.
Touchdown! Well, it's hard to believe you never made the first string.
That's enough.
What's the matter, Mac? Can't you wait your turn? Nobody stops me tonight.
Listen, I never went to college. Maybe I shouldn't be watching.
There wasn't a player in this whole lousy team that hasn't scored with my wife. Now it's my turn to get even. Stay where you are! Don't move! Anybody got an idea what it's like to live with a woman a whole team has left behind? Tonight you're gonna find out. Sammy, you have two choices. You could either have your wife back used like mine or dead like Liz Wilson.
Yeah. Oh, you're mad at me. Why are you taking it out on Sammy?
Come on, Al. Come on down.
Stop him, Sammy. He means it.
You heard him, Mac. He's not kidding.
I know. That's why you're staying here. Al. Give me the gun.
Take one more step, and I'll really give it to you.
Please.
Oh, man, I'm sorry I started all this.
You didn't have. I did. A long time ago. Al? Al? You were never like the others. Never. Don't change now. Please, honey. Do you know, from our very first date, you always treated me like the girl you were going to marry. I'm proud to be married to you, Al. Really proud. And I know you feel the same about me. Don't you, honey? Don't stop now. I'm begging you. I love you, darling. I love you so much. Come on, darling. Let's go home.
Hey, where's the whiskey?
Boy, some athletes. I never met an athlete without an appetite. That must have been some bum team. What am I going to do with all this food? It would be nice if we could have a wake tomorrow.
There's always that possibility.
Well, at least it's very clear who hates the team as much as Joey. Makes a person think twice before going out for sports.
I thought all my enemies came after college, when I started practicing law. Never really know, do you?
What about Sammy? I mean, the killer stopped with him. That means he could be the killer, right?
Well, why would he kill in sequence and then skip himself?
Well, why would he kill in sequence and include himself? Maybe he deliberately made himself the obvious suspect, like you said about Joey, thinking that you'd never suspect the obvious.
I suspect everybody.
When one person is killed, you've got one motive. But the whole team, the motives are endless.
You know, you may just have something there. One person.
One person? It's not one person. He's out to get the whole team.
Yes, but suppose he really only wanted one person.
He's already killed 4.
Well, maybe that was just to disguise his motive.
Do you mean that he really only wants one person dead?
That's possible. Killed the rest just to confuse us.
Well, how can you tell which person he had the real motive for killing?
That's the problem. And for that matter, the one he wants dead may still be alive.
Oh, that's a cheery thought.
I was thinking we might have another party tomorrow, Mrs. McMillan. This time for your friends, people with appetites. Like that adorable Mrs. Crenshaw.
I think that would be a great idea, Mildred, except tomorrow is taken. You see, tomorrow I am going to find out exactly who Mac was really going to marry.
Did I miss something? I mean, did something happen here tonight beside what happened here tonight? Is there somebody else?
I think that's my question, Mildred. And the answer is yes.
Well, personally, I'm not surprised or shocked. I'm stunned.
All I did was make a wish, Mildred, and that was 20 years ago, long before I ever met Sally. Only I made the mistake of writing it down.
And tomorrow, at the team banquet, it's going to be read out loud.
Well, no point holding it till tomorrow. Why not tell it all now? Frankly, I've been braced for it since the day you married her. Tell me, Commissioner, what is the time limit on annulments? About the same as the statute of limitations, I hope? Come on, Commissioner, what'd you write?
I can't remember.
I told you it was 20 years ago.
You can't remember? How could you forget something so important?
Mildred, when one has a dream, and then when one wakes up to find someone much lovelier than any dream lying beside one, well...
Oh, boy, what a line.
Mildred, the line was meant for me. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, well, who can account for taste, right?
You know, Mac, if you really can't remember what you wrote, I think you're just about the only one. Well, you can sure tell that Sammy remembers what he wrote.
Sally, that's the motive. You've just provided the killer with a motive.
The prophecy papers.
Of course. He wouldn't want them read aloud. Really wouldn't want them read aloud. In fact, couldn't risk having them read aloud.
Well, why would he have to kill to keep the prophecy papers from being read?
Because they won't be taken out of the bank until tomorrow, and then only by our president.
Who's your president?
Well, Bobo Johnson was.
Then Bobo was the one that the killer wanted dead.
But he had to hide his motives by killing 3 other members.
Mac, if the president can't pick up the papers, then who does?
The vice president.
Who's the vice president?
I can't remember.
You can't remember that either?
Well, who remembers vice presidents?
Oh, that's true.
Only I should remember this one. Because he's our killer.
Commissioner, the men won't be meeting at the bank until noon. That's 3 hours from now.
What's your suggestion, Charlie?
Get a writ. Open the vault, open the box, and read that letter.
The letter by itself might not be enough. What we need is a way to trap him.
Yes, but how, sir?
We've got just 3 hours to figure it out.
Oh, yes. Very good, sir.
Hi, Mildred.
You ready?
Yeah. Where are you going?
With you.
I'm going to the television studio.
Perfect. You can drop me off.
Where?
To save a lot, I've got to return these.
How do you return olives?
Well, I didn't open them. And anyway, I bought them on consignment.
You bought olives on consignment?
Have you priced olives lately? You can't afford to buy them any other way.
Mildred, I'm in too much of a hurry.
Okay. Look, don't worry about me. I can walk.
You're going to walk to save a lot? There's 7 hills between here and there. What are you trying to do? Make me feel guilty?
I thought you'd never notice. You know, sometimes I wonder if you and the commissioner notice the many things I do for you that I'm not paid to do.
Mildred, we notice. Sometimes we even talk about it.
So do your friends, let me tell you. And some friends. You'd be shocked to know how many job offers I get after every big party, like last night. It's embarrassing. And those friends, sneaking back into the kitchen to try and hire me away from you. But rest easy, Mrs. McMillan. I wouldn't leave you and the commissioner for anything.
Are you sure, Mildred?
Mm-hmm. One thing always stops me.
What's that?
Nobody will match your salary.
Ready to roll tape. Roll tape.
Now, Joey, what we're going to do is we're going to tape your segment now and then insert it later. So it doesn't matter how long you want to make it. And also, you don't have to be funny.
Well, I'm always funny. Just like you two are always beautiful.
Oh, that's sweet, Joey.
I tell you, if they had you in my size, I'd take you in every color.
Come on, Carol. We better go. Excuse us, Joey. Now, get on your mark.
Stand by for countdown. Countdown. Ready, camera 3. Take 3. Ready, cue. Cue.
Well, Sally, who is our next charming guest?
Carol, we have the great honor of having with us today the comedian of comedians, Mr. Joey Germain.
Welcome, Joey.
Tough luck. One of them's married to a friend of mine, and the other one's too smart for me. Would you believe that when I was a young fella, I didn't do too good with girls? In fact, I was once in a show on Broadway. Maybe some of you have seen it. In the Broadhurst Theater. That was a long, long time ago. And there was a fella, leading man, across the street, and I said to him, would you make me a date with a girl? He said, sure. And he made me a date with a girl. She was so pretty. When I saw she had a date with me, I felt sorry for her. We met in this little place. She wore a rose. She came in, I looked at her, I couldn't talk. Now with millions of people, I could talk like a son of a gun, but alone with a girl, I couldn't talk. And then I remember Charles Boyer. Never had to talk. He had a vein in the forehead. And when he aimed that vein at a girl, she fell apart. What I needed was a vein. And I scratched my forehead with a fingernail to create that vein, a welt. In my zeal, I went a little deep, and my eye filled up with blood. I tried to cauterize the wound. I took the candle off the table and set fire to my hair. Took half a bottle of wine and put it out. It was terrible. But what I really came here to say... You didn't hear that, did you? Of course, I didn't say anything. But if I had, there are so many children, adults too, who don't hear what I said. It's the reason for this telethon. To raise money so people can hear, at least with their eyes, and talk, at least with their hands. So let's hear you do something. Let's hear your pocketbook open. Let's hear your coins jangle if all you've got is coins. Let's hear your folding money unfold if all you've got is folding money, or if you can give us some. Or let's hear your pen squeak in a checkbook and send it in. Send it in. And those noises, they'll make you hear a noise. It'll make you feel good. It'll be your heart opening up, which will sound so much like the gates of heaven.
Thank you, Joey. That'll do wonders, I know.
Hope so.
Could you afford it, buddy?
McMillan.
They're all inside the bank now, sir.
Mac, what are you doing here?
Suppose I ask the same of you.
You forgot the rules, Mac. The president, or rather now the vice president, has to be accompanied by the secretary and treasurer.
So now it's your turn again. Why are you here? You're nobody. Team-wise, that is.
Well, let's just say I'm here to give the prophecies an official escort.
Oh, come on, admit it. You're as nervous about yours as the rest of us are.
Only no peeking allowed, Mac, not even for a police commissioner. What we really need is an accountant to swear that the envelope has remained sealed. Hey, Joey, How about this? Mac showed up to provide police protection for the prophecy papers. How's that for a laugh?
Not so good, but isn't that just like the police? They're always around when everything's fine, and you can't find them when you're in trouble.
Yeah, I'm afraid all of us will be happy to leave your fair city, Mac.
Yeah, Joey even canceled his act here. In fact, he was already packed to leave when I called him this morning. He was going to skip the luncheon until I reminded him we needed his signature to have the box opened.
I even forgot I was vice president.
I doubt if you forgot, Joey. In fact, I'm convinced you knew all along what I finally figured out last night.
What's that, Mac?
That the motive for the murders is in that box.
What are you talking about, Mac?
I'm talking about a man determined not to have his prophecy read. So determined he murdered 4 people just so he could be in this room to substitute a new prophecy.
Well, I'm here because Bobo's dead and I'm next in line, that's all.
What about the other 3 murders, Joey?
What about him? I'm a comedian, remember? You're the police commissioner. Don't look at me.
Oh, I didn't look at you, Joey, for a long time. Because I didn't know where to look. So many deaths had me fooled.
Oh, come on, Mac. Now, I'm not looking forward to the prophecies either. I mean, listening to my plans for the future, what a big shot I was going to be. But I wouldn't kill anybody over it, neither would Joey.
Wouldn't he now?
What makes you so sure he would?
I'm not sure. First, we'll have to see his prophecy.
Well, you're going to have to wait till lunch because that's when I'm going to read them.
I know. Which means that the only time to make a switch would be now, between here and the luncheon.
Well, what if I did switch prophecies? I mean, just suppose that I didn't want to be embarrassed either. Just suppose. How could you prove it? How would you even know?
The best way would be to check now, to see if you have a substitute prophecy on you.
Wait a minute, you would search me? You mean you'd frisk me down? You'd give me one of these? You'd search my whole body? You'd give me a like this? Turn around. Face the wall.
You want to tell us your prophecy, Joey?
Why not? It said that we would be married and live happily ever after.
You and Liz Wilson.
Yeah, me and the mysteriously murdered cheerleader. Yeah. I was so sure of her, I even put it in my prophecy. I described our life, my wife, together, me and Liz.
I never thought Liz was ever serious about anybody.
She wasn't until she'd be alive today. She lied to me. She used to say, it'll just be our secret, because she didn't mean it, because she was teasing. But I meant it, and I showed her, didn't I? And I got away with it. I hated you all so openly. You eliminated me as a suspect, didn't you? Admit it.
Until today, yes.
And did I ever love hating you? And...
Go, please. You've made a terrible mistake. I'm in new accounts. I don't handle cash.
I don't want any cash.
Well, of course you want cash. What kind of a robber are you?
She's in new accounts, Mac. She don't think it's fair for her to have to die because she don't handle any cash. You explain it to her, Mac. We'll let her down easy. Tell her she's talking to the wrong person when it comes to fair play. You tell her!
Hold it, you're under arrest.
So, where am I? Stopped on the 1 yard line again?
You know, Mac, there's one thing that still puzzles me. If Joey wanted to look like he was killing the team in sequence, then why did he skip Sammy? Sammy's number 35. You're number 38.
Liz's arm blocked my number. Made my 38 look like a 33. Which means Liz made a fool out of Joey again, after all these years.
Ah, still together, I see. Shall we have a snack to celebrate?
Mildred, we just came from a banquet.
Oh, a luncheon.
A banquet at noon.
So have a little something to get you through till dinner.
We're skipping dinner.
You're skipping dinner? Is this America or isn't it?
It was a 7-course meal.
And every course catered, and that simply doesn't count.
Well, it counts if you ate it.
Mildred, Sally and I are going to take a little nap, if you don't mind.
Oh, good. That always makes you hungry. Do I take it that you married the right girl after all?
Mildred, you should have heard Mac's prophecies. It was wonderful. It described me to a T. But I was a little curious. I wonder if Joey was the only one that had a substitute prophecy in his pocket. After all, you carried those prophecies to the luncheon. Any chance you switched them on the way?
Is no one above suspicion? Not even the police commissioner?
Well, the police commissioner, maybe. My husband, no. Oh, man. Okay, but just wait until my reunion.
Stick to the subject, our reunion.
security prison and resulted in quite a few embarrassed faces. Though most prison officials refused to comment, one penologist, who asked not to be identified, said with a grin, "Well, I guess it's back to the old drawing board." In sports last night, the big story was the off-season trade between Chicago and Atlanta.
Well, your escape was obviously a success.
Yes, your Treasury agents are very efficient.
Well, it's not too tough to pull off a prison break when you got the warden's cooperation. You know, this is amazing how much he looks like you. Are you sure he'll cooperate, huh?
Oh, he'll cooperate. Once he hears the deal.
I don't like it, sir. I don't like it at all. It's too risky.
Well, he's right. You know, it's dangerous, and it's not too late to back out.
According to this cable, Paris already knows about the gold. Probably headed for Lisbon and Mexico. How serious is that?
Well, if we hope to prevent an international gold panic, we've got to move.
What are the alternatives if I don't do the job?
None.
There's your answer. So what happens? I just sit here?
You're out of prison, aren't you? It ought to be enough for now.
It ought to be, but it ain't. And I want to know what I'm doing here now.
Maybe this is your answer.
Oh, you again. I should have known. Hello, Claudio. Full of surprises, aren't you, Commissioner? First you put me in, then you take me out. Glad you could make it. Sorry I couldn't dress for the occasion, but I got your invite on short notice. We've got quite a job for you. As it happens, I'm free. For the moment, that is. What's the job? Impersonating me. Pushover. What'll you do? Take a vacation? No. I'll be impersonating you. Ha! Then you're gonna have a great vacation. Assuming you're not stupid enough to send yourself back to prison. I had to go to San Diego. I understand it's a town you know rather well. Sure, I know it. What's the deal? I want a rundown on your friends there, in detail. Yeah? Yeah. Joe Murphy. Rachel Solo. Vera Royal. Vera Royal? Wait a minute. What's the deal, Commissioner? I'll ask the questions. Vera Royal, huh? She finally must have made it big. You're about to make it big yourself. You're going to be a police commissioner while I'm away. I got $500,000 last year for impersonating you. Can you match that? I already did. You're out of jail, aren't you? That ain't good enough. If we get what we want, you'll get a parole when I get back. I get a parole whether you get back or not. The chances are that slim, huh? I know Vera and her crowd. You ain't coming back. All right. You tell us what you know. Everything. And I'll see that you get a parole, whether I get back or not. You got yourself a deal.
Okay, but I hold the papers until we're certain that the commissioner is not coming back. We wouldn't want two Mattins running around loose on the San Diego waterfront.
Oh, I don't know. Sounds kind of like fun to me.
You're going to be doing undercover work with her?
You could call it that, yeah.
Just how long do you think it's going to take?
As long as it takes to find out when and where the gold will be smuggled into the States. Then get word back to the Treasury Department.
You're not even in the Treasury Department.
My qualifications are only physical, I admit.
Your qualifications are exactly the kind that a woman like Vera Royal would want. That's what bothers me.
Manton will be staying under the same roof with you. Now, surely you can trust me with her.
There's a difference. A big difference. I know that Manton is not my husband, but Vera Royal has no way of knowing that you're not her lover.
Well, what about last year? You thought he was your husband then?
Don't be ridiculous. Not for a minute.
Well, he didn't get anywhere with me, despite repeated attempts.
What repeated attempts?
And he won't this time either.
You mean you knew he was an imposter?
Oh, it was so obvious. I mean, he may look a little bit like you, Commissioner, but... Oh, I never judge a book by its cover. What matters to me is what's inside. And you don't need a title page to tell you what that man is like.
Why, Mildred, you mean you do like me?
I don't think I said that, Commissioner.
Mildred, be careful. Mac needs that for his work.
That's work.
Commissioner, you're in for the time of your life. After being me for a few days, you'll never be satisfied again. And let me tell you something else. Commissioner, you're in for the time of your life. Commissioner, you're in for the time of your life. After being me for a few days, you'll never be satisfied again. And let me tell you something else. Commissioner, you're in for the time of your life. After being me for a few days, you'll never be satisfied again. And let me tell you something else.
And therefore, the investigation is continuing, and no further comment will be made until tomorrow morning's briefing.
And therefore, the investigation is continuing, and no further comment will be made before... Oh, come on, Sergeant. I got away with impersonating him last year, didn't I?
Keep practicing. An important life depends on your being perfect.
Yeah? Well, an important life depended on it last year, too. Mine.
Well, no one's worried about you, Manton. You're safe.
Yeah, I know. Well, you got plenty of reason to be worried about him. He's going into a real jungle. One mistake, and it's curtains.
I'm telling you, the Treasury Department knows too much. There's a leak somewhere. You find out who and get rid of him. I don't care what you have to do. Just get rid of him, you understand? Right. And tell Vera I'll be seeing her soon. Right. Right.
As far as we know, they've shipped the gold from Paris to Lisbon. Now, if our reports are right, it's headed from Mexico and then the U.S. Now, that's your assignment, Mac. How, where, and when.
Oh, no. Like this. Curlier. Yeah, that's better.
That should do it, Commissioner.
Hey, Joe, any coffee around?
Yeah.
How about getting us a couple of cups?
Be a pleasure.
Thank you. Any idea who gives Vera her orders?
No one knows the answer to that. That's the one thing she never yaks about. But there is someone. He's got to have plenty of honor. He's the only man alive that scares her.
When did you last see her?
A couple years ago. Acapulco. How were things between you when you left? Not as good as they'll be when I get back. A lot will be expected of you, Commissioner, so don't let me down. It may be your life at stake, but it's my reputation. Well, I'll do my best not to let you down.
Commissioner?
Yes, Sergeant, what is it?
Oh, well, I thought you'd like to know.
No, Charlie. Here.
Oh, yeah. Well, your contact lens has just arrived.
Oh, yeah.
Your coffee.
Yeah.
Sensational, Commissioner. Your eyes really look blue.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take a look at the pictures. Number 1, Joe Murphy, bartender at the Lotus.
And him?
Bill Johnson, former Navy flyer, will work for anybody if the price is right.
Good. Now for the ladies.
Rachel Solo. I'm not to be confused by her last name because she almost never is.
What about her?
Bonnie Sue, born without a last name for obvious reasons.
Excellent. What is Vera's favorite fragrance?
Gardenia.
Her drink?
Champagne, exclusively.
Your song?
Or what?
I mean, her song with Manton, their song.
Oh, My Blue Heaven.
Paradise.
Oh, yeah.
And the deep dip?
Hmm?
The deep dip. It's Vera's favorite dance step, sir. You know, with Paradise. Dip? Well, everybody used to dance that way.
Not everybody.
You know, Commissioner, Manton has really led quite a life. I love my work, but listening to him talk last night, well, I couldn't help wondering if maybe I had missed a little.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know when I get back. Don't you have anything a little quieter? Quieter? These are the best threads in town. Are you kidding? Bring it over here. Man, do you dress square? Yes, I want to enjoy your wardrobe, too. I look great, but this bummer, who'd know? I got it figured you'd be leaving in the morning. Good luck. Oh, and take care of the old rep. It's all I got, but it's plenty.
Look, Frank, before you go, will you talk to him again? Tell him to get out of there as soon as he has the information. I know the way he is. He'll want to stay there until he has the gold shipment in your hands.
Right.
Yeah?
Charlie, I want to look at those San Diego maps.
Yes, sir.
What's the matter? Your lenses bother you? Of course not.
Commissioner, here's the waterfront map you wanted. First of all, the Lotus Bar is located...
I could find the Lotus Bar blindfolded. Over here, Charlie.
What's my favorite dessert?
Apple crumb cake.
Manton says he's known all over the waterfront, sir. So if you hang around there long enough, you'll bump into somebody who'll lead you to Vera.
No, according to our latest reports, the gold is due in at the end of the week. Now, once you find out where and when, I want you out of there, because, believe me, you'd be safer with the ingots than with that information.
He's right, sir. Those people kill a man for what he knows.
Yeah. And a lot of times they think he knows more than he does, so you're going to be in danger from the time you get there till you get out.
I appreciate your concern, but I don't trust your motives.
My motives? We've never been apart more than one night. I'm gonna miss you.
If Manton's as convincing as last time, You maybe even forget I'm gone.
There's only one man in my life, and he ain't got blue eyes.
Oh. You mean him?
That's only half the story.
Better?
Best. Your beautiful brown eyes are the reason that I fell in love with you. Didn't you know that?
That's the reason.
Mm-hmm.
Never guessed.
Vera Royal. You know, Mac, that photograph could be an old one. I bet she's aged a lot since then.
Probably has.
Yeah.
Most women do.
Yes, that kind of a life can be very hard on a woman. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
All those men in her life. I bet she's exhausted. Just a shadow of her former self.
I doubt it.
Do you know, I feel better. Why didn't you tell me all these things earlier?
Because I didn't think of it earlier.
I'm certainly glad that you finally did.
Yes, so am I. Because after all, I was taught to be kind to the aged.
Just exactly, what do you mean by kind?
Well, I will be posing as Manton, and who knows what will be expected of him.
Well, whatever it is, she's gonna be disappointed, right?
He did tell me his reputation was at stake. How could I let him down?
You'll think of something.
So I think the Lotus Bar would be the best contact point. I'll look it over when I get down there and then I'll call you. Right?
Well, I'll hear from you tonight, then, eh?
Yeah, tonight. Can I give you a lift anywhere?
No, thanks. I'm walking as much as possible these days. I like a lot better than dieting. Makes me feel happier.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy, huh?
Sir? You sure you still want to go through with this?
There's no choice. You know that.
They know too much. Otherwise, Hanson wouldn't be dead. The stakes are too high.
I didn't exactly volunteer for the job.
Well, you didn't turn it down either. I was just thinking of how Mrs. McMillan would feel if anything happened to you. And me.
Not to mention Mildred.
Not to mention Mildred.
I'll be passing the information on to you, you know. You're taking just as much a risk as I am. Do you want to back out?
No.
And I'll see you tomorrow night at the Lotus Bar. I'll light a cigarette when it's safe to talk. Now stop worrying. I'll be back in a week. What do you want? Boilermaker. Murphy around?
You from out of town?
Who isn't? Why? Doesn't he work here anymore?
He don't work anymore.
Retired?
Dead.
How did he die?
Well, papers said that he died of a sudden illness. I call it just sudden.
I'm looking for a dame named Vera Royal. Any idea how I could find her?
Is she looking for you?
She will be. She knows I'm in town.
Oh, one of those big thrill things, when she finds you, huh?
Check.
Well, if she wants you, she'll find you.
If you happen to hear from her, tell her that Claudio Manton's back in town. It'll be good news. I promise you.
Hey, Claudio. Good to see you again, pal.
Same here. How you been?
Oh, breathing.
It's more than old Murphy can say.
Yeah, but then Murphy had it coming. He was in a highly dangerous line of work.
Bartending?
Sure, bartending, Claudio. You're still a funny man. Even with your jailbreak making all the papers.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever happened to those Havana cigars you were going to send me from Florida? You forget?
Oh, I couldn't forget you, pal. It's just that I didn't get to Florida that time.
Got a better offer, huh? From a richer lady?
Yeah, you know how it is.
No, but I'd like to.
Tell me, you seen Vera lately?
Man, you got some nerve looking her up again after running out on her the way you did.
Yeah, well, that's my problem, isn't it?
It sure is.
So where is she?
Maybe you're in luck. Nobody's seen her in a couple of months.
She's not out of town.
Who knows?
Yeah. Well, somebody has to know. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Dee 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 dee. Well, hello there.
Down, boy.
You didn't hear it?
Hear what?
That noise. All that banging, I thought there was trouble.
There is, till you start back downstairs again.
You sure you didn't hear anything?
Oh, I heard the police patrolling outside. Lest you forget.
You don't trust me, Mildred.
Ah, got it on the first guess. That's why I'm here. And the cops are outside. Of course, if this arrangement doesn't suit you, we can always return you from whence you came to jail.
I'm surprised at you, Mildred. Someone with your obvious experience in show business, I thought you'd get a kick out of this.
Show business?
You weren't a showgirl? A dame built like you?
A dame built like me? They didn't even finish building me. Well, great legs, but where's the rest of me? No, Manton, you go on back to your couch before I order a cage.
Come on, Millie, let's have a highball.
I don't drink, thanks.
Then how about a piece of that delicious apple pie? I was dreaming about it when I woke up.
Sure you were.
Apple pie?
Okay.
Say, buddy. Got a light?
Sure.
We hear you've been looking for Vera Royal.
That's right.
You just got lucky. Okay, here they come. Let's go. What about the Jameson case, Commissioner?
Yes, how angry are you?
Angry?
The grand jury refused to return an indictment. Isn't that so?
They said lack of evidence. Isn't that a reflection on your department, Commissioner?
Well, at this point in time,
I
according
think
to
that
the
you
evidence...
gentlemen are asking the wrong man that question. Don't you think that question belongs to the district attorney?
We'd better hurry up, Commissioner. You'll be late for your next appointment.
I'm aware of my appointment schedule, Sergeant.
I really would like to go home, dear. It's been an awfully long day.
Great. Nothing I'd like better than spending the night home alone with the little lady.
Oh, don't get your hopes up.
Let's get a few pics with the little lady. Come on, honey, a little bit closer.
We'll bring you all morning. I missed you.
Yeah, don't call me honey.
What does he call you?
Sally.
Catchy.
This is the one little woman of San Francisco who always feels safe, and that's because you're married to a police commissioner. Right, honey?
What about that, Mrs. McMillan? Your husband's work can be dangerous. Are you ever frightened?
Not when I'm with my husband, Ken, no.
Which is why I have this new policy of always having her right by my side.
Excuse me.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Commissioner, you haven't talked much about the Jameson case.
I think that would be impossible to discuss at this time, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
However, I feel... You gonna take any action, Commissioner?
That'll be all for now, gentlemen. Thank you.
Better not stand too close, man. You gotta be pretty steady on your feet to enjoy the view from the top.
Takes more than heights to make me dizzy.
Then we'll just have to try something else. I like to keep my men off balance.
Hello, baby. Glad to see you again.
Okay, boys. Something else.
Watch the antiques, fellas.
Is that enough?
Just a little more. Okay, fellas, that's just right. Thanks. You always were a little too pretty. This is much nicer.
As I remember right, we used to get along a lot better than this.
Oh, you remember right. We used to get along beautifully. You rat.
What'd I do?
Now, isn't that just like a man? Pretending to forget.
you look a lot better than the last time.
That's because I'm doing a lot better than the last time.
Yeah, I noticed.
I was sure you would. That's the kind of thing you notice first, isn't it, Claudio? How well the lady's doing. And I don't mean her looks.
Come on, Vera. Spent a whole year in jail. Come over here looking for a little kindness. And first your two hoods damn near beat me to death, and then you give me a lot of lip.
Oh, yes, I heard about the prison break. Who helped you?
Help me?
Come on, Claudio. You don't break out of that prison without help. Who was it?
Nobody.
Oh. Some rich broad who couldn't live without you, hmm?
I'm through with that kind of life, Vera. I spent a whole year just thinking about it, and I'm going to pay my own way from now on.
Oh, now that doesn't sound like the Claudio I knew and loved. As a matter of fact, you don't even look the same. No, there's something very different about you.
Oh, even I age a little.
Oh, I approve of age in other people. No, it's not age. It's something else. You've had your teeth fixed, haven't you?
Yeah. The better to bite you with.
Teddy, I thought you were already on your way.
I was. But then I heard Pretty Boy Creep was in town, so I came back.
Hello, Teddy. Long time no see.
Not long enough.
I see you still have it.
I still have everything you give me, baby. Always liked from the first stroke. You always said it reminds you of me.
Get out, man.
Cool it, Teddy. We don't even know why Claudio's here yet.
Don't we?
No. Just what do you want, Claudio?
I need papers to get out of the country.
Out of the country? When you're with Vera, you're out of the country.
Am I with Vera?
We've got business, Vera.
Yes, I know, and you should have been on your way by now.
I go and he goes.
Oh, you just gave me an idea. Claudio, how long has it been since you went upstairs and jumped out?
Upstairs? I thought this was the penthouse.
What's funny? I don't think he has the slightest idea what you're talking about.
Oh, he knows what we're talking about. He used to be the best in the business.
Still am the best.
At what?
Oh, what do you think? Going upstairs and jumping out.
Look, I told you he knew what we were talking about.
No, he hasn't said anything except what we've said.
Look, Teddy, it's not the kind of sport they encourage in prison. I may be a little out of shape, but I always know how to jump out of a plane.
You really were the best, you know.
I never forget anything I'm good at.
Oh?
I may need a little practice.
Oh, we'll provide plenty of practice in all departments.
I want to talk to you, Vera.
Sure, Teddy. Why don't you put on a record, Claudio? Our song is still there.
Sure, baby.
You forgetting the last time I walked out on you?
I'm not forgetting anything. I just thought of a way to get even. Only this time he's gonna walk out on me at 10,000 feet, and I'm gonna be watching. Then it's just you and me, baby. Now, look, why don't you go, Teddy? You got a lot of work to do.
I don't like leaving you alone.
Oh, I can handle Claudio.
Just make sure he doesn't handle you.
Oh? You remembered? I'm surprised. It's been so long, I thought you might have forgotten. Now, let's see if you remember what comes next.
I never thought I'd meet the lady who make me want to take a shot at getting married. Till now.
You're very sweet, Claudio. But I don't think that marriage is for every man. Having a wife is quite a responsibility.
Not from where I'm standing. If I were married, I'd never go off and leave a wife like you.
Yeah, well, you might not have any choice.
Come on. The police commissioner of San Francisco doesn't have a choice. Who are you trying to kid?
This doesn't have anything to do with San Francisco, you know. You don't know. And you're not going to get another word out of me. Not about Mac and not about what he's doing in San Diego.
Well, if he's with Vera, I know what he's doing. I just don't know why. Not when he has someone like you waiting at home.
You know, you can be kind of nice sometimes.
So I make my living, sweetheart.
Yeah, I know. But do you know, it wouldn't surprise me if there wasn't a rather decent person hidden under all of that facade.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who needs him? Facade's what counts. The company I keep. And if you're talking about last year, when I let you off the hook, that was different. You thought I was your husband. This time, you'll know what you're getting. Shall we go?
As soon as Mildred's ready.
Mildred's coming? I thought we were going to a dinner dance.
We are, but it's also a benefit for charity. Organized by my most suspicious friend, Carol, which is why we're making this appearance. Besides, it's $50 a plate. Why don't we just think of Mildred as another contribution?
Got an idea. Why don't we leave Mildred there as part of the contribution? Mildred, you look wonderful. It's worth $50 just to get a good look at you.
Well, it's too bad the commissioner can't be here to see since he's paying.
You know, that dress reminds me of the good old days.
Well, if it was good enough for Mrs. McMillan's mother, it's good enough for me.
Is that where you got that dress? I think it looks great. Come on, Claudia. Come on. Oh, we're going to have a ball. Aren't we?
Rye whiskey.
Any word yet?
How's Sally?
She's fine.
It's on its way. I'm on the reception committee. I'll find out where tomorrow. We're having a practice run.
How'd it go with Vera Royal?
All right. Finally. Give me a rundown on a guy named Teddy Sands. He's running things for Vera. And doing his best to get rid of Manton, which translates me.
Nice, quiet place. Yeah. Always like this?
Yeah.
You better get out of here before the cops come.
Sure Sally's all right?
She's fine. In fact, she's at a big party Mrs. Clenshaw's throwing tonight.
Good. I hope she's having a ball.
Boy, I'm having a ball.
Then, why don't you look at me?
Claudio, you've only got one brown eye.
What?
She's right. What'd you do with the other eye, dummy?
It was here a minute ago.
Will you two act casual,
What'd you
please?
do, dummy?
Well, I want everyone to have a good time, of course, but don't you think you've taken it just a little bit far?
Carol, what a lovely party.
Oh, well, how can you tell from down there?
Well, we've seen it all from top to bottom, and we're the best judges.
Why, Mac, You wear contacts. I never knew that before.
Carol, please. He's very sensitive.
Oh, well, several pounds on me, artificial, and I'm not sensitive.
Yes, we've noticed. The pounds and the sensitivity.
If this gala weren't costing $50 a head, I'd have yours sent home.
Carol, you look absolutely ravishing.
Well, thank you, Sally. Oh, and so does Mac. I've never seen him quite so dashing. I can't keep my hands off him.
Try.
You see, honey, there are plenty of women who would be happy to change places with you.
Oh, I'll say. And the line forms here, right behind me.
Carol, are we raising lots of money tonight?
Oh, only a small fortune. 2 more tickets, and I'd have a sellout on my hands.
I'll take them. Send the bill to my office.
Why, Mac, how darling. Oh, I've never known you to be so generous. Oh, my last 2 tickets, I now have a perfect score.
And that's the only kind to have.
Oh, well, I'm sure if I had you around all the time, I'm sure I'd never have to worry.
Likewise, I'm sure.
Oh, why am I so turned on by your husband tonight? It's getting quite embarrassing.
Yeah, it is.
He's even changed his shaving lotion.
Oh, Mac is just full of surprises these days, Carol.
There are more to come.
Not while I'm around.
I certainly hope not. Don't you ever go on vacation, Mildred? You know, Sally, you're a very lucky girl to have a husband who still has surprises left.
That's why I'm not taking a vacation this year. Shall we dance, Commissioner? They're playing our song.
Their song?
Well, it's certainly not my song. You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Tell you one thing, though, wouldn't trade places with you. Going to all those dances. What a strain.
Thought you were having a good time.
Oh, me, no. I just run through the motions. You know, so everybody wouldn't get suspicious.
You know, you did a good job. You even had men convinced you were having a good time.
That gigolo, did you see the way he was kissing my hand?
Yes, I did.
Well, does he think that behavior's going to get him anywhere?
Well, it certainly got him a terrific breakfast.
Yeah, well, even a gigolo has to eat, I suppose.
No identification. Let's see if this says anything.
Damn, that won't be much help.
Claudio, the eighth wonder of the world. Does that mean anything to you?
We'll turn into headquarters to see what they can make of it.
You better get ready.
To be continued?
Anytime, baby.
And how come I get the feeling you're always bluffing?
You want to try calling my head?
That's what today is all about, sweetheart.
So soon?
Well, any luck in finding what you're looking for?
No, I didn't. Where's the lighter flicker on this place? My flame's getting a little low.
Oh, I hadn't noticed. Maybe I'm not as observant as I should be. The dry lake bed, that's your target. And here's the game. Teddy's the best free faller in the business today, but I expect you to be better. If you open your chute before Teddy, consider yourself out of our deal.
I don't know what the deal is yet.
If you free fall longer than Teddy will tell you.
If you free fall longer and live, that is. Fine by me. I'm at home in the air just as I am on the ground.
We'll see, Blue Eyes.
Even an omelet has its limit.
Coming, my dove. To dance the way you danced last night? And now to cook? The way you cooked this morning, well, it's a miracle. I mean, I've known women who can do one or the other, but not both.
I've been something of a surprise to myself lately.
Did he? Probably hasn't had a good meal since he left.
Vera Royal doesn't cook?
Vera Royal cook? Are you kidding?
Well, I suppose in her profession, who would notice? Drink your orange juice.
I can do it.
You wouldn't catch me standing over a hot stove if I lived that kind of life.
Oh? And what kind of a life does she lead?
Well, you know what I mean, coming into all that money.
Oh. You know all about your money, hmm?
Well, I know it's $100 million in solid gold. What more do you need to know?
Yeah. I mean, at those prices, any woman would get out from behind the stove.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even have to worry about your cooking to win a man. You could just buy him.
Okay, fellas, jump run.
Okay, Romeo. Now we'll see who's best.
Now!
Well, looks like I'm in on the deal.
As far as I'm concerned, you're not in on any deal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You all right? Good. Come on.
Claudio! Claudio! You forgot to put in your order for dinner! Claudio! It's gone. Skipped. Oh.
Oh, by the way, Roy, thanks for the limo.
Okay, Claudio. Hope you make it to San Diego.
He's gone, Sergeant. We've looked everywhere.
Even under the beds.
All right, now calm down. Now, how did it happen?
Well, I don't know. The last thing I knew, Mildred was serving him breakfast.
Yeah, it was a terrific breakfast.
It was. I saw it.
What did he say? Anything?
Yeah, he said it was a terrific breakfast. He even renamed my muffins. Muffins Mildred, he called them.
Forget about the muffins, Mildred. Did he say anything about where he was going?
No. I just thought he was leaving to come home for dinner.
Where do you think he has gone, Sergeant? San Diego? What's the matter, Sergeant? What's wrong? It's Mac, isn't it?
I don't want to worry you. It's not even worth talking about.
What's not worth talking about?
I don't want you to worry, Mrs. McMillan. I'm sure it's all a mistake.
What's a mistake?
A man was killed last night. Outside of the bar where I met with the commissioner. No identification. Except for a cigarette case with Manton's name on the inside.
It could be Mac, couldn't it?
Well, we only got the call a couple of minutes ago. We don't even have a description yet. So let's not jump to conclusions. I'm sure the commissioner is perfectly safe.
I'm going to San Diego, Sergeant, right now.
With housekeeper. We'll find him.
If he's still...
He's here, and we will find him.
Any word yet, Sergeant?
No, he didn't show at the contact point. I'm sure it's because he couldn't get away.
Do you really think he's with Vera?
Well, he's bound to be. I even think I know where they are. Place called Mr. Biggs. I haven't been able to get into it yet, though.
What's Mr. Biggs?
A private club. Very private. Vera runs it.
Do you think Manton knows about it? Could he be there, too?
No, I don't think so. The place just opened. Why, you can't even get in the front door unless you're with a member. But I'll make it somehow. Now, don't worry, Mrs. McMillan. You know we have agents everywhere. So if I don't find the commissioner first, they will. And then I'll let you know the minute it happens.
Thank you, Sergeant. I appreciate it. Call me, no matter how late. You know I won't be sleeping until I know he's all right.
Good night.
Good night. Come on, Mildred. We've got some business of our own to do at Mr. Biggs. Put on your sexiest.
My sexiest? Whatever you say. Wow, what about these boas? Well, it's just the perfect touch, Mrs. McMillan. Nobody lucky to get them on sale. But I mean, why a sale on boas? Boas are never out of season, are they?
Be glad they were on sale, or I would have only been able to afford one.
Yeah, and you might have gotten chilly without one. Well, tonight we're plain clothes women.
Well, I wouldn't exactly use that phrase. However, I did want to hide our inherent good taste so we wouldn't be conspicuous at Mr. Biggs.
Yeah, well, I think you've seen to that. Frankly, I couldn't be happier. I mean, I was never turned on by good taste myself.
Mildred, we've just got to get in there tonight. I just want to know that Mac is safe.
Don't worry now, we will. We'll get in. And these boas were just made for Mr. Biggs. We're not going to settle for anything smaller.
Okay, ladies, this is the place.
Well, at least it's a nice neighborhood.
Excuse me, ladies.
We'll be lucky to make it to the front door.
There's the button.
Mrs. McMillan? tonight, you gotta forget everything your mother ever taught you and listen to me.
Right. And you better call me Sal, Mildred.
Right, and you call me Millie. And look like you got something to sell, will you? And nobody will be interested in buying. Come on.
Sorry, sisters, this is a private club.
Oh, we're expected. Go on,
yeah?
Sal.
By who?
Well, you're going to be very sorry you stopped us when you find out who invited us.
That's right, Mr. Big. Very sorry.
Name him.
He doesn't want us to use his name.
Look, sisters, can you peddle it someplace else? This is a private club, not a shopping center.
Does the name Claudio Manton mean anything to you?
I thought you didn't know his name.
Well, he doesn't know I know it.
Does Vera Royal know you know it?
Now you know why we have to keep it a secret.
Okay. But get inside before somebody sees you. But stay out of trouble, unless you want trouble from me. Okay?
Okay.
Rien ne va plus, mesdames, messieurs. 22. Faites vos jeux, mesdames, messieurs. Faites vos jeux. Rien ne va plus. Rien ne va plus. 15. Impérément. Faites vos jeux, mesdames, messieurs. Faites vos jeux.
Hey, Sal, just for the look of it, don't you think I ought to hit the sauce kind of hard tonight?
Millie, you've been on the wagon several weeks now. You don't want to fall off?
Yeah, I do want to fall off.
Will it be ladies?
Oh, I'd like a very dry...
Temple.
A temple?
Yes, a Shirley Temple. Make that 2, please.
Oh, come on, have mercy. I can't drink 2 of those.
I'm having 1, Millie. 2 temples.
2 temples.
I got it. It's the police work, right?
Right.
We both got to be sober.
May I buy you ladies a drink?
Oh, we thought you'd never ask.
Even better. Is either one of you available for a little conversation?
Both of us. Very available.
And not all that unreasonable either.
Especially her.
Speak for yourself, Sal.
Look, I don't want to start trouble.
Neither do we. It's just that we're both rather new at all of this.
Well, I can do something about that. Come on.
Good evening, Mike.
Will you excuse us, please?
I thought we were to go out and have a
Get
drink.
lost.
It's him.
Or the other one.
No, it's Mac, I'm sure.
Wait a minute.
Hey,
Hmm?
who's the little number?
Which one?
The one who can't take her eyes off you.
I don't know. I can't remember.
You may not remember her, honey, but she's obviously never gonna forget you.
I'll get rid of her.
Claudio!
Look, suppose you two go back where you came from.
Oh, Mac, thank God.
And right now.
Mike, how did they get in here?
They said they knew him.
Well, get them out now, and don't let them back in. Clear?
Your orders always are, Miss Royal.
Whatever you say, Claudio. I just wanted to say hello.
And now it's time to say goodbye. Now get out of here.
All right, ladies, time.
I took care of him.
Good. So did I. Well, good night, ladies. Oh, I'm disappointed in you, Claudio. I thought you had better taste.
He does.
Hey. What are you doing later, kid?
What's it to you, Buster?
I get off in a couple of hours.
Yeah, well, I'll be asleep in a couple hours.
Okay. But if you change your mind, you know where I'm at.
I knew where you were at 5 minutes after I met you.
Deacon, it's me, Mac. Finally had a chance to call. Is that right there?
Who is this?
What do you mean, who is this? I just told you, it's McMillan.
Sorry, but in a situation like this, I can't be too careful.
Well, now, how do you think I feel?
Mac, who?
Deacon, what in the hell's going on there anyway?
I can't tell you anything on this end until I'm sure who you are.
All right, Skip it. Just tell Enred I'll meet him at the Lotus Bar tomorrow afternoon at 3 for apple crumb cake.
Glad you're here, Sergeant. I just had a call. Now, it could have been the commissioner, but then it could have been Manton.
Well, what did he say?
That he'd be at the Lotus tomorrow afternoon at 3 for apple crumb cake. Does that make sense?
Sense? It means he's alive. I gotta phone Mrs. McMillan. She is gonna be so relieved.
Apple crumb cake means he's alive?
Yeah, it's my favorite dessert. We use it as a special code.
The gold's in Mexico. It got there last night. They'll try to cross the border sometime tomorrow.
Room 1200, please. Any idea how?
None. We have to hope the commissioner gets word to us.
Well, there's not much of a chance if they keep going this fast. That's strange. She doesn't answer. I wonder where she could be.
Sí. Sí. Estoy listo. ¿Estás seguro? No estoy contenta con todo esto.
We ready?
She wants to see you first. Say goodbye, but make it fast.
Just as fast as she wants it.
No, no. Dame un poco de tiempo. Te llamaré más tarde. Sí. Esta noche. Gracias. Well, we're all set, sweetheart.
What about the equipment?
It'll all be there as needed. You just be careful and don't get hurt. You've got a future with me, you know.
Where do we meet you?
You'll be driven.
In other words, I still don't get to know how it fits together.
No one has all the pieces,
Except you.
except Mr. Big. All you need to know is how to handle your end.
What about Teddy? How much does he know?
Enough to handle his.
Does his end include handling me? I don't like working in the dark, Vera.
Look, Claudio, no one's in this alone. And one mistake could blow the whole thing. I know you'll come through for us. Just watch out for Teddy. We have to use him, but we don't have to trust him.
Is that why you only told him half what he needs to know?
Is that what he told you?
No, but you only told me half. I assume you told him the other half.
Don't you see, darling? The more you know, the more you're a threat to him. If he starts to make trouble, don't hesitate to get rid of him.
To give him the same orders?
Mr. Big gives the orders. Vera just gives her heart.
Vera Royal still live around here?
You still didn't hear from her then, huh?
They put in a laundromat at her last address. If you see her, tell her Claudio Manton's looking for her.
All right, same message as last time. I got it.
What last time?
You don't remember last time?
Oh, yeah. It must have been loaded.
You sure didn't look loaded. And after 28 years, I know loaded, believe me.
I was worried about you.
You knew I'd turn up, didn't you?
Well, I wasn't sure that you'd be able to get away. Did you get the timetable yet?
Oh, Claudio! Oh, baby, it's good to see you.
I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
I'll be right back.
Will I see you later? Oh, see you later.
What'd you do, circle the building?
What circle the building?
Didn't you just leave here?
I just got here.
I gotta go.
You gotta go. I'm leaving for Mexico right now. The shipment's coming in by air today. Harpersfield.
You'll be on the plane with it?
No, I'll be in the air with it. you try that again, you'll really take a dive. Happy landing, Fink.
Are you crazy? Get out of here. I'm quitting. It's not bad enough I don't know when a customer's drunk. I don't even know when I'm drunk myself.
Who was that guy? A bum I slugged? Never saw him before. If you're pulling a double cross, it'll be your last one. Come on, Teddy. How about me getting a little sleep, huh? Good idea. Why don't you sleep right through the jump?
Where are they now?
Almost at Calexico, the border. They're making good time.
I just hope the commissioner's with them.
What do you mean? He was seen boarding.
Manton was seen boarding. I just hope it's the commissioner as Manton and not Manton as Manton.
They're getting closer. They've just crossed the border.
Coming up. Now!
Nothing, Sergeant. Nothing. But this must be the flight. And the gold has to be here.
12,000 gold ingots? Where? And where's the commissioner? When we find him, we'll find the ingots.
Well, I was sure he'd be here. He said he'd be in the air with a shipment. Unless... Of course. That's what he meant by taking a dive. Of course.
Mr. Big will be a happy man today. I'll deliver it to him myself. Meet you at my place. You can take my car.
Why don't you let me drive? It's a pretty rough car to handle.
No, it's safer if we separate. Just wait for me at my place. I'll join you as soon as I can.
What about Teddy?
There's another car for him. He's coming later. He's got a little job to do first.
Oh, too many witnesses.
Hmm.
Why don't you let me handle it? I'm getting a little rusty.
Sure you're up to it?
There's only 2 of them, aren't there? All I need's a little practice.
Well, so far, you haven't forgotten anything you used to do. Take care of them.
Yeah, thanks, baby. See you later.
And for as long as you want to stay. You've earned it, sweetheart.
What's the holdup?
Claudio will take care of the others. You go on to my place.
Why the change?
Because I decided to change, Teddy. Now go on. Bye-bye, baby.
Bye-bye.
Well, there's nothing like spending a night away from home to make you appreciate your own bed.
It's no bed to me until Mac's back in it. I don't know why I listened to Sergeant Enright. I could be in San Diego right now helping out. Some homecoming.
Yeah, well, listen. Should we have a buffet or a sit-down dinner? What? Well, we can handle a lot more at a buffet, but a sit-down dinner is nice, has a little more class. Of course, it's a lot more trouble for me, but what's that?
Mildred, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the welcome home party for the commissioner.
What welcome home party?
Oh, now listen, we all know he's alive, and it's just a matter of time until he comes home. You can't start planning these things too fast.
How can you think of a party now?
Look, we can either have it indoors or maybe out on the terrace. We've never used the terrace for a party. Might be nice.
Mac is in more trouble now than he's ever been with Manton on the loose down there.
Don't be ridiculous. They've probably caught him by now. After all, they have a perfect description of him. Now, let's see. Who would you like to invite? Should we keep it small, or would you like to invite Carol Crenshaw?
Mildred, I know what you're doing.
You do?
I appreciate it.
Why not give me some help? Would you like cold hors d'oeuvres or hot hors d'oeuvres?
I think hot. Hey, why don't we try a new soup?
Oh, soup. There you go, making trouble for me again. Well, if we're going to have soup, I have to get a new soup tureen, and I can pick that up this afternoon. And, of course, those old soup bowls have to go. Now, if you're going to have soup, you've got a couple of basic choices. It can either be a cream base, or it can be a clear broth, or you could have a soup with a few vegetables in it, or some noodles.
Vera, baby.
Claudio.
Boy, is it good to see
How'd you get here so fast?
I hope I'm just not too
You
late.
took care of everything in the cabin, didn't you? Nothing went wrong.
Cabin.
Yeah.
Plenty went wrong. They're using a double for me.
Double?
Yes.
What are you pulling anyway? You get your share and that's it. Now, don't give me any talk about double.
Wait a minute, you don't understand. They know all about the shipment. Now we have to move it. Now where is it? We're in a hurry.
What do you think I am, Claudio? Stupid?
No.
What kind of a double cross are you pulling anyway?
I'm not trying to
I thought we had a future together. When will I stop trusting men?
Just stop trusting the wrong ones. He's with the cops, Vera. They've already picked up Al and Eddie, and they're probably on their way here right now.
But that wasn't me. He's a police commissioner.
Then you're a police commissioner.
No, he looks exactly like me. Don't you see?
Yeah, I see.
Me too. I've also heard enough. Bye-bye, lover. Take care of him, Teddy. I've got to warn Mr. Big.
Vera, wait. That jailbreak was rigged. They knew the only way to get at you was through me.
And they were so right, weren't they, Claudio? How you could have said those things to me last night.
That wasn't me last night.
Oh, don't take that away from me. Whatever you are, you're one of a kind.
Vera.
Claudio?
Sure.
Then who's Teddy killing in there?
Commissioner!
There are two of you.
Police, Miss Royal.
Oh.
Oh, no, you don't. Oh.
I'm all right.
Commissioner?
Yeah, Charlie. What about the car?
Where you suspected, sir. Right here. There's an underground vault in the garages. And you were right about that car, too, sir. It's solid gold.
I told you I was taking it to Mr. Big. Now, what made you think you'd find it here?
Because you're not the kind of woman to take orders. You're the kind who gives them. They may be camouflaged with champagne or money, but they are orders, always.
And you take orders better than any man I've ever met.
I was taking orders from you, not Mr. Big, right?
Do me a favor.
Maybe.
Just don't tell Teddy that I'm Mr. Big. He'd be too humiliated if he knew that he'd been working for a woman all these years.
Booker. I'll call an ambulance. Not a police ambulance. I still get my parole, don't I? You didn't keep your end of the bargain. That's the kind of a guy I am. But you always keep yours. It's the kind of a guy you are, right? Right.
Well, good night, Mildred.
Good night.
Good night, Mildred.
You gonna be all right, Mrs. McMillan?
Of course she's going to be all right. She's with me.
If you are you. If he starts to tango, just give me a shout.
If this man tangos, he tangos with me.
Miss Manton, Mildred?
Manton? That gigolo? Do you know he actually called me a showgirl? I mean, who would believe a line like that?
Nobody I know.
Well, he wasn't the only one. I had another offer last night. Why, when I think of what I give up for you, Commissioner, well...
What about you? Did you tango with Manton?
Me? I was saving myself for you.
But I don't tango. I did learn the deep dip, though.
The deep dip?
Mm-hmm.
Well, darling, I had a little something else in mind.
Tonight?
Tonight. Wait a minute. How did it feel? Taking orders from a woman.
Oh, about the same as it feels right now.
How can you call that an order?
Oh, it's an order, all right. It just doesn't seem to be coming from you.